everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm doing something weird with plums today. So here's the plan for the day. Actually, it's like halfway. It's 4:12 right now. I'm going to pick up my friend Tifa from Tifa in Wonderland, and her and I are gonna go on an expedition, a journey to find plums. Guess who I found? Yeah!
This is the first time I actually look like a normal person.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And then you have me, and I'm sick.
Well,
so we're here at Whole Foods Market. Hopefully gonna find some canned plums, not prunes. Oh gosh, I'm so tired. What? And if it turns out good, I'll save a slice for you. So, all right. Oh, so big. So they have a pathetic excuse for a canned fruit section.
it's bad.
Yeah. Is there a Harps around here? I think there is. Yeah. So we're gonna go to Harps to see. Oh, dudes! I found the plums. So some of you may be asking, what is a writing channel doing with plums? Well, I'm going to make plum pudding. And what does that have to do with writing? Well, I'm going to tell you, whether you wanted to actually know or not. You see, there's this really famous book out there called A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I don't know if you actually know that one. I mean, it's there. But in all seriousness, it's definitely well known, and if you haven't read it, go and read it. You can take it from a ha-ha funny side, or you can take it from a dun side, depending on like which way you go. Are you more horror, or are you more like ha, or anything like that? So this might be spoilers for someone, so if you haven't read it or haven't at least heard about it, skip like a few seconds, I guess. I hope it's not a spoiler. It's been out for a while. But at the end of the book, Scrooge, who has had a change of heart from being an old nasty miser and keeping all his money to himself, realizes that he needs to give, and he'll become even richer, not just with money, but in the heart. Aww. And so he goes and he hangs out with one of his employees, like his only employee, the only man in the world who can actually stand Scrooge, apparently. And he gives them dinner and all that, and they have plum pudding. At least I think it's at that part, or it might be where he's actually with his nephew and he gets reacquainted with his family. But anyways, at the end, somewhere, Scrooge, or at least one of the characters, has plum pudding. So I decided that I wanted to make plum pudding for this, Christmas. Yeah, and maybe while I'm making it, we can talk about nerdy stuff that has to do with Christmas, or at least the Christmas Carol. So yeah. So as you can see, here are all my ingredients. I had to hunt down pretty much all of them. So if you see any like off-brand stuff, none of these people that you see are actually like promoting this or sponsoring this video. I just went to the store and bought stuff. And it's fun because, as you saw earlier, I found my plums. So thank you, Harps, for actually thinking of people. Thank you for your canned plums. Yay. And I also have the recipe. I printed this out. It was from Taste of Home, and it's called Tiny Tim's Plum Pudding, which is amazing. So yeah, and I'm gonna follow it as best I can. There are a lot of ingredients, but only 5 directions. So that kind of somewhat worries me, but we're just gonna go with it. Also, I have a big decision to make. So I can make it in this one, or I can make it in this one. And the cool thing about this, that even though it's plain, this comes out, so it's a lot easier to actually get the cake out. And this one, though, isn't easier, but it looks pretty. So I might go with this one, mainly because my mom has already used this one for her fruit cake. So I'm just double checking the recipe, and I realized that I already forgot something: the carrots. Thankfully, we had some shredded ones like you need for the recipe, so it was all good. So since I'm doing this because of A Christmas Carol, I wanted to talk about the book and just how I like it and stuff. It's not my all-time favorite Christmas story. I do like the versions of Scrooge McDuck being Scrooge, and
the one with all the Muppets in it. I freaking love both of these versions, and I love watching them so much. I also think it's funny when people view A Christmas Carol as a warning against being rich, because it's kind of not. Because all throughout the story, whether you're reading it or you're watching it, you see different people of different economic backgrounds act either cruel or nice. For instance, Bob Cratchit and his family, including Tiny Tim, love the holidays, and even though they struggle to get through, they still try to keep a happy, a hopeful vibe to them. And the same goes for Scrooge's nephew. You can tell his nephew is very well off because of the big house and the big party he's able to throw, but he's very kind and caring, and he opens his heart to everyone around him. He even goes out of his way to invite Scrooge, even though he knows Scrooge is probably going to say no, like he always does. And of course you have Scrooge, who's rich and mean and just a butt all around because how dare Christmas. But as you travel to the past with him and see how he grew up and all that, and then later you go into the future, you see people who are poor who are jerks as well. And if you're wondering why I'm trying to make shredded orange, it's because of the orange zest from the skin of it, which I didn't know that, and now I do. And then you see me here and I'm mixing in the somewhat wet ingredients plus brown sugar and all that. And that's when I realized I need to plug it in, and there's no plug-in around the kitchen table. So I had to switch over to the counter. So this story isn't trying to say that if you're rich, you're going to be a Scrooge. In my opinion, it's trying to say that if you have the means to help other people, you should try to help other people, especially in a time of need where it's super cold, the winter is harsh, or even when you just see a person or persons that need help no matter what time of year. You know, Scrooge isn't just a rich guy, he's also mean, and that's why these ghosts come to him and tell him that, hey, you need to be better. So what do you all think about the book? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Have you actually read it or anything? Let me know in the comments. Let's start a conversation. So like you already know, this is my first time making plum pudding. What I didn't know is that plum pudding is boiled. What you're supposed to do is put the plum pudding mixture into a bowl of some sort, or whatever you're going to actually cook it in, and then put that bowl into another bowl and boil it that way, like making a double boiler. And I really didn't want to do this, so I had to search the internet to be like, isn't plum pudding baked, or can't you bake plum pudding? Thankfully, I did find some sources that said, oh hey, you can totally bake it. But of course, they didn't tell me like right out, this is what you bake it at. So me putting the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit is a total, I'm just going to guess thing, and I hope it turns out right. Alright, so I just put the cake in the oven like y'all saw, and now I'm gonna clean up, because look what's left. I'm pretty sure my mom will not appreciate all this, especially all the plum stuff. Like, look at that, oh my goodness. And then, of course, over here, need to clean this up, and then this up. But it seems like it's gonna be pretty good. So, yeah. So we'll see how it goes, and then go from there. Hello, friends, and welcome to... So, fun fact about this sauce, you can have either rum or orange juice. And I was going to go with the rum just because it's cool and you can actually light it on fire if you do it, which makes a really cool effect. But my mom uses the rum for her fruit cake and there wasn't that much left, so I decided to go with the orange juice instead. And if you're really curious, this is orange juice with no pulp. I'm pretty sure you can have one that has pulp, but just in case, I wanted to keep it as plain as possible because of all the powdered sugar that was going into this. Also, fun fact, I only used half of what the recipe recommended for the sauce. So when I make this again for my friends, if it turns out right that is, I'll have enough sauce for them too. Fun fact, I was actually going to make figgy pudding first, but then I realized there's a lot more ingredients in figgy pudding, and it has almonds in it, and I really don't like almonds. I'm not necessarily allergic, I just don't like them. I don't know why. I like peanuts, but I don't like almonds, so, you know, who knew? So went along with plum pudding, and as I was trying to find a really good recipe, which I somewhat did, sort of, I also found out it has another name. Plum pudding is also called Christmas pudding, which I think is really, really cute. So if you're gonna actually bake one of these, it's apparently at 350, not 3 hours and 50 minutes, but like, you know, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you're doing Celsius, figure that one out. And then it's for 35 minutes. And then I swished mine around, and then if you look, I probably can't get it right. It's pulling away, which is good. That means I sprayed it enough, I hope. So I'm gonna let it sit and cool a little bit, and then flip it over, and then put the topping on. And so after that, I'll flip and do all that and clean up and woo! So I'm excited. It looks good. It looks like I didn't destroy anything, so. Also, what do you all do for the holidays? Do you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Christmas? Or do you just, you know, chill out at home because, you know, everything is closed on Christmas?
Finishing off the dress is still going to take a few months. We still have to choose the fabric we're going to use, and we might also have to do another round or two of alterations with the muslin. But we'll get there.
So as you just saw, it came out pretty well. I definitely sprayed that. Look at that. Ooh, that's a raisin. Okay, so it looks really cool. It seems funny because I can see some carrots and some raisins, and I don't know, I'm just really happy that it came out without too much effort because I was so worried about that. I've had cakes just glued to the pan before, so I'm in no way a professional, but this was fun. So I have the topping, and there's a little piece that accidentally fell off, so I'm going to try it. That was good. That was really good. Now I need to like hide that spot. I mean, it fell off on its own accord, so it's not my fault, right? So I'm gonna undo this. Oh man, I should have tried it with this. Aww. And then it says, while it's still warm, you know, put it on. For me and my family, we all gather at my mom and dad's house, and we open presents at like 11 a.m. And then we have lunch, and then half of my family leaves to go to other places to have dinner and all that, and to do their stuff at home. And then I usually, of course, hang out in my room and sleep because I ate too much. So I'm gonna try some of the stuff without it putting on. So, oh, that tastes weird. It's like, it's not frosting. It's butter, powdered sugar, and orange juice. Oh, and it's kind of weird, kind of gross by itself. So I'm gonna try it. Let me see. Okay, there was a little bit of stuff in there, so I'm gonna. That's pretty good when you actually have the actual cake with it. So I'm probably gonna take some of this off because it's melted all the way. So, but I'm gonna let it cool and all that, and then I think I might stick it in the fridge, I guess. But yeah, and I'm gonna save the rest of this for next time that I do it for my friends. But yeah, this was really enjoyable. Like, look at that. Look, it looks so good. It tastes good. And it's a healthier than, you know, just chocolate all the time. So, take that chocolate that I'm addicted to. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making my cake. And I can't wait to eat it on Christmas Day. I hope to have this video out before Christmas Day, where you can enjoy it on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or after the holidays, where you're like, plum pudding. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and definitely a Happy New Year, because that's like just around the corner. So every which way, even if you don't celebrate something, I hope you have a happy winter. It's always good to be like happy during this time of year where it's freezing cold, at least for me, because I get cold easily. And with that, I'll see y'all later, alligators. Bye-bye.